All right, Springfield Comic Con. We are back with two of my favorite people in the world, and not just in Hollywood, but in the world. Not only are we in the presence of Darkseid himself, Mr. Ray Porter, but we are in the presence of a younger Bruce Wayne from Batman v Superman with that iconic intro scene. Just amazing, guys. Thank you so much for doing this. And obviously, we're at Comic-Con, so I think first things first is, what drives you when it comes to these kind of projects, Ray? What interested you in the role of Darkseid, and why did you pick this?
Well, I think the first major interest was that Zach offered it to me. I got real interested. But also, his writing and Chris Terria's writing of that particular screenplay was so engaging and so huge. And it really appealed to me because, basically Zach was like, go Shakespearean if you want, go for it. I mean, he gives you the room to work. The idea of working with Zach is something that anybody should jump at if they have the chance. So that was the thing that was the most exciting. I honestly had no concept really of what it would mean to fans after the fact. And I mean, obviously the movie went through a lot of iterations. I wasn't even in it. And then, I had to be very about the fact that I was, and then I could say that I was, which was great. All along the way, the fans were just like, welcome. There was never any, it was just like, hi, you're cool, come on in. And so my real strongest sense of allegiance, aside from to Zach, is to the fans who, through really like positive and benevolent tenacity, made the film happen. And it's my honor to be in it. It's my honor to come to cons and to meet people just so I can look somebody in the eye and say, thank you. It means the world. So.
And you had one of the most, if not the most iconic line from, Zack Snyder's Justice League. And, the scariness of it, the intensity of it. I mean, when you're talking, when you're Darkseid and you're speaking to Steppenwolf, and I mean, chills were ran down my spine.
A lot of history there with Steppenwolf.
Right.
And that was kind of what I wanted to do, was to convey sort of what it's like in that world. In a very small amount of time, you have to communicate all that stuff. So the fact that people got it is really gratifying.
Yeah, and I mean, could you give us the line?
I'm so sorry, the signal got a little bit funny there.
That's okay.
Can you repeat that?
I said, I'm sorry. Can you give us that? Can you give us the line real quick?
Which one? I've turned 100,000 worlds to dust looking for anti-life. That one?
Yes. That was amazing. Thank you. And Ray, I think one of the things that we all talk about, and this goes for Brandon as well, just working with Zach. I mean, people seem to not just sign on to the movie for, the script, but they sign on for him, because he is a tremendous person.
That's really what I did. I mean, the script, without question, was terrific. I was familiar with it, and the script was fantastic. And I have liked and appreciated and respected Zach's work forever, going way back.
Right.
But who he is as a person, to have the opportunity to work with someone like that, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you've done a lot of voice acting in your career. Is there anything, is there any advice you can give to, upcoming actors, upcoming voice actors? Brandon's here. He's a very young actor. Is there any advice that you have for people in this industry?
First and foremost, Brandon is doing just fine and does not need advice from someone like
Thank you. Thank you.
But, the thing I would say to anybody, especially with voice acting, because it is acting at the core of it, it's acting. So just like you would not, go on screen or go on stage and try to pretend like you're some other actor doing this role, you should not listen to voiceovers, listen to narration, listen to any of that stuff, worried about what you should sound like. What you should sound like is what you already sound like. Whatever
Right.
your sort of discovery is within the script or whatever, that's legit. You may get the job, you may not, and it has nothing to do often with, whether you should have sounded like somebody who was established. What people gravitate to, I think, especially with voice acting, because all you have is the voice,
Right.
is authenticity and a window into that character that maybe somebody else would not necessarily bring in the same way.
Exactly.
So I guess the only advice I would give is don't ever think about what you should sound like. Sound like you.
Right. And thank you so much, Ray, for joining us.
My pleasure.
I can't wait to have you back on the long form podcast.
I look forward.
And thank you, Springfield Comic Con. This, my man, Ray Porter, Mr. Darkseid himself. And, by the way, another credit that you so deserve is your work in Sandman. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
If anyone hasn't already, check out Sandman. Ray did some tremendous work, and we hope to see
On
you
Audible.
soon. On Audible,
Yeah.
yes.
I was very, very proud of that project, and it's very good. So if you haven't listened to it yet, please do. And I hope that next Springfield Comic Con I can be there in person and say hello to people. That would be terrific.
You hear that,
So-
Springfield? There it is. And Ray, thank you so much.
Thanks
He's
very
out. He's out in the UK, unfortunately. So
That's all right. Yeah. Only
time
April.
is ticking.
Pleasure coming and hanging with you guys. I leave you in very capable hands. You guys have a great rest of your, I guess, evening.
Evening, yes.
I don't know from the time change, but have a great rest of your. All right, guys.
All right.
See you later.
And now
Bye.
it is just the two of us, Mr. Brandon Spink.
What's
Who?
up, Ed? How you doing? I saw the little poster behind you. I got mine as well right here.
Yeah. That's what I'm
I-
talking
I-
about, baby.
I felt
That
like
was-
I needed to bring that out.
Honestly, that was one of my favorite posters of all time because if you look at the poster and then you look at like some generic Marvel posters, even Star Wars posters,
Yeah.
right? They tend to have that pyramid look where it's
Uh-huh.
like, different people's faces,
Yeah.
but that stuck out because
Mhm.
there was a reverse poster like that, and it
Yeah,
was
so-
Superman with Batman's logo.
And I've been trying to look for it and I can't find it.
I'll get it for you.
Let me know, please, because when I finished the movie, they sent me this right after we done filming, and then I framed it like maybe like a couple months later. But the thing was, when they sent it to me, the movie was like barely like anything was even talked about, so I had to like keep this in like my room, like hidden somewhere. See it. So and then when it came out, I got it framed and everything, and I was like, oh, there we go. Now I can put this up.
There we go.
Yeah.
So Brandon, you're a young actor. You're upcoming in the sense of most kids. I say kids loosely because you're an adult these days.
I just turned 18. Yeah. But,
So
like a month ago.
in the eyes of the law, you are now an adult.
Yes, I am, yeah.
But when you shot Batman v Superman,
Mhm.
how old were you?
Oh, I
You
wanna
must have
say-
been 12.
Oh no, I was younger than that. I was.
No, yeah, younger than that.
I
Wait a
was,
second.
I was probably 10.
Because 2016. So
Because
2016.
it came. Well, I filmed. Remember, you got to think that way. When it
Oh
came
yeah,
out,
you filmed it, so it was
we filmed
14
it
and
2
15.
years before, because it came out 2016, but we filmed it in 2014,
14 and
2013.
yeah,
Towards
2015.
the end, so I was probably like 10. about
Yeah.
10, yeah.
So what do you remember of being on set? What do you recall? Because for anyone who doesn't remember, or maybe you're one of the people that has not seen the film. In the beginning of Batman v Superman, it shows a young Bruce Wayne, and he's reeling after the loss of Thomas and Martha. And Alfred is there. It's the funeral scene, and the emotion that you brought to it, being because we've seen that before in other Batman iterations, but the way that Zach portrayed that, there was a lot of gravity and a lot of emotion to it. And then you got to do something that I thought was one of the coolest intro sequences where you come up with the bats.
Yeah.
So walk me through that.
Yeah, so that whole scene was inside a studio. I mean, everything you saw was like built at like probably 16 to 20 foot thing. I mean, still built out of styrofoam. Like, I mean, it's crazy
Right.
to think about like that, like what they can do with that. But I mean, they had me in the harness. It just like everything green screen brought me up, nothing with me. And then when I'm laying down, looking out into where like the bat cave actually like takes place, where all the bats
Right.
are, nothing there. It's like it's crazy how much they can do with it.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, how can I forget that? I remember everything throughout filming that. There's
Right.
one
And
thing.
you got to work with Jeremy Irons,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Jeremy, really closely with Jeremy Irons, and he is, one of, if not, I mean, the guy played Scar. He voiced Scar in The Lion King.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him? Like, what was your on offset relationship with Jeremy? Did you guys get to talk? And
Yeah, no, I mean, I got to have a few conversations with him throughout filming. I mean, in between stuff, he would even help out with lines, facial expressions, stuff like that. But overall, he's just a good, well put together guy. I mean, he knows what he's doing. I mean, you learn so much from watching him act, watching him talk. I mean, I watched a couple scenes where I wasn't in, where it was him and Ben Affleck, and you could just tell, like, damn, this guy's good.
Right.
This guy's good.
Right. And working with, getting to observe Ben as the older, because you got to think, you're the younger Bruce Wayne, but I don't know how you get into character and how you stay in character, if that's what you do. I don't know how immersive you are, but as the boy who's playing a really, really broken individual, seeing what you become in Ben Affleck, his Bruce Wayne, was it eerie, or did you take notes?
I mean, I've been a Batman fan my whole life, so I kind of knew, like, when I found out what it was, like you kind of gotta like look into more comics as well, like the emotion of it and everything that's going on. But I mean, that scene is a huge scene. I mean, it really it starts the Batman. Like,
well, without that, without that sequence, the Batman does not exist.
Exactly, and it's just like one of those things that he's like, the emotion in it has to be so big and so like real that it's like, because I mean, the scene that I'm in, it really like puts it there. It's like, wow. So my parents die, and then the whole bat scene as well, even with me going up, I mean, and realizing, that's how the bats come into play, I guess. Yeah.
Right. And would you ever, I mean, so would you, well in just a moment, while we still have time, we'll talk about Fear Street and your experience on Fear Street. But is there, you and I had I think we were texting, and I said that you would be a good, Nightwing or Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson, Nightwing, or Jason Todd, Robin. And I mean, would there be any interest in that?
Oh my God, 100%. I mean, it's like, I mean, I love already being a part of the whole DC Batman franchise and stuff. I mean, I would love to do something like that. Like, I've seen edits and stuff like that on social media throughout, and people have like,
I've made some of them.
Did you really?
Yeah, I made a couple of you as I was telling you, I made a couple of you as actually. So I messed around with two. I'm gonna edit this part out, but I messed around with a couple of you as Nightwing, and then also you as Green Lantern. Because I think because look at the literally look at the fucking jacket you're in right now. That's a Hal Jordan jacket, and the older you get, the more Hal Jordan you look. So just so you know, keep it in.
I'm keeping that throughout the thought process.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it there. But don't get me wrong, like the whole anything inside the Batman franchise I'm interested in, because it's like I've been part of that family for so long.
Right, and I mean even Marvel. I
Yeah.
can see you as a couple characters. With these Disney Plus shows. Like, are you watching any of them?
Yeah, no, I've watched a lot of them. Yeah,
Ms. Marvel.
I've seen Miss Marvel. Yeah.
So it just ended, and
Mhm.
it's based on a younger superhero.
Mhm.
So, I think there's definitely no question in my mind that if you were to be given a role, no matter what role that would be, I think you would thrive in it, and I think people would absolutely love you. And I cannot wait to see or to say when that happens
Yeah.
that I was there before then,
Yeah.
because
No,
you have so much talent, man. You
thank you, I
really do.
appreciate that. Really
Like,
do.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, young superheroes have been. I mean, even since Tom Holland started. I know he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he started it when he was
18.
18. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how old the girl in Mrs. Marvel is, but
She's, I believe she's 20.
20, yeah.
She's playing a 16-year-old, but I mean, I could play a 16-year-old.
I
You
know.
know what I mean?
I know,
So
but yeah, but they're placing these actors as young, very young for superheroes. So it's like I'm like happy like that they're kind of going in that direction with it, that they're getting the younger, because that does also attract the younger audience as well. Getting everyone involved with it. It's really
exactly.
cool.
I mean, to be transparent, have you put any auditions together for something like that?
I have not. No, nothing yet.
No.
Because it's like.
Well, people forget you're in school. Well, you
Yeah,
were.
no,
You
it's
were in
don't get
school.
me wrong about that. It's just it's hard with roles like that. Like it's like usually when people have such big superhero movies and stuff, they have someone right on the dot they want, right? Someone right there.
Right. They write it
Perfect for that.
with the intention
So it's
of.
definitely harder for those type of roles, just because they're already so set on of the stereotype of what it is.
Right.
Through. Yeah. So
basically, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to prove yourself in other
Exactly.
films, and to get them to notice you. So that brings me, good segment, to Fear Street.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't play a crazy major role, but your role, the older version of you, is very crucial to the story.
Yeah, very. I mean, the whole like Will Good, the whole Good family is like such a big part of the Cursive book.
It's
deep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very deep, and with Fear Street, that was a very odd. Just the production, the style, the quick 3 movies. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
not a lot of films shoot 3 films and then release them at once.
I mean,
You
yeah,
know
we
that-
talked about that last time too. Yeah, no, it's crazy how fast they put everything together and release those 3 films in 3 consecutive.
I don't know if you remember, last time you were on was the day that they released the 3rd one.
Oh yeah, because we talked about that. We were like,
talked
oh yeah,
about
they
it.
just came out today.
It literally just came out.
Literally just
So
came out the next day.
how was your experience on Fear Street? It was definitely more of a, not. I mean, it was a smaller scale, and you got to hang out in the wood. What was the set like? Was it actually in the woods?
Yeah, the set was taking place, the whole cabin, whole camp, everything was set in the woods. And it's funny because the Batman scene where I'm running in the woods was also taking place there. So it's funny, a lot of roles I've done have been very out.
In the same spot?
No, not in the same spot.
I was like, no fucking way.
No, that'd be sick.
Oh shit.
That'd be cool.
Sorry.
But it's not. It's crazy. I'm used to outdoors. I'm usually most sets I filmed on have taken place outside, and other than Batman, of course, with all the edits and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
the
But I mean, with the
green
scenes where the
screens,
funeral and the running, and then Fear Street, obviously doing that, and then Once Upon a Time, I had some stuff outside. So I love filming outdoors, and it's pretty cool what they can do with all the buildings and stuff like that. I mean, with the cabins, because everything was already there, everything was already set up. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and so what would you say that Fear Street, what did you take away from Fear Street as an actor?
I mean, first of all, the people you work with. I mean,
How to have
Sing. Don't
fun.
get me wrong. She's an amazing actor. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
with Stranger Things and everything. I mean, just taking away experience, I guess, and just the stuff you learn just watching and filming with other actors. I mean, because you're taking takes, and you're learning something every time you take a new take. And just like the whole The director as well. I mean, she was amazing. You learn stuff from that. I mean, just the whole cast and crew. It's just, it's great.
So sorry, 1 second.
No, you're good.
My co-host is here because we're about to do the show. But when Sadie Sink. Speaking of Sadie, did you watch the Stranger Things?
Yes, I watched it.
Yeah, she is amazing in that
Amazing.
show. Like downright amazing, and
Mhm.
she was a crucial part of not only last season but this season as well.
Mhm.
Right? This
Yeah.
season, the whole thing with like the tape recorder. But Sadie's got a great future ahead of her, and
100%.
and honestly, that's the same way I look at you. In honest, I cannot wait. You told me so you're going to University of Georgia.
Yeah.
Do you plan on playing baseball or anything?
No sports involved.
No sports.
College vision. Yeah.
So, what does the future look like for Brandon Spink?
So I've got my first degree, which I'm gonna be doing journalism, obviously.
No way.
Yeah, journalism is what I'll be majoring in. If that doesn't work out, hopefully I might take the directing one. But yeah, first I'm going with journalism.
And what will that leave for acting?
I mean, just the whole writing, learning how to write, because obviously acting, the scripts, writing scripts, maybe doing something like that on my own, writing my own script and doing all that. So that's definitely going to play a huge part in that. And also the more
Will you continue to
entertainment side of it as well with
Yeah.
the journalism as well, because that's also.
Will you continue to audition and?
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah?
I've got a place set up. I'm moving in 2.5 weeks to my apartment down there. So
Okay.
I have a place set up down there. So I'm ready. I'm excited to get started with it.
Well, I'm excited to well, I consider us friends at this point. So
Oh,
I have nothing but respect for you, Brandon, and I know that you're gonna do, so well with whatever you do, because you're just that type of person where you can tell that the drive, your motivation and drive keep you going. So thank you again for doing this. And if there was one thing that you could tell, a young actor, what would that be?
I mean, just don't give up, man. Like, keep going, keep fighting, put your focus into it, because that's all it takes. It may seem like a lot in the moment, because don't get me wrong, it took a while to get where you're at, and it takes time, it takes effort, but I promise you, after that effort, it's all going to pay off in the end. And just like also what Ray said before, stick to yourself. Don't let other people tell you what you need to be. Be yourself, be you, and I promise you it's going to take you where you need to go.
My man. Brandon, thank you so much. And
Thank you,
Springfield
brother.
Comic Con, we will be back with Mark Pellegrino from Supernatural, from Lost, 13 Reasons Why. I mean, this guy is a living legend in my book. So, guys, thank you so much. We will return.